I think De'Aaron Fox may be the best possible point guard pairing with Wembanyama in the National Basketball Association. Contingent on having sufficient spacing around them, I think that might be the case. And that's really what I want to start. So I'll throw that in your lap, Geoff. What do you think about that?
You really are throwing that in my lap. That's I'm totally caught off guard. I had so many places I want to go with Wemby, but that's so interesting.
I know.
Because the Fox thing is kind of looming for them. And there are so many different aspects of Fox's return that you and I are going to have to talk about. I think Spurs fans are going to like most of them, but one maybe Spurs fans won't like so much. But that's such an interesting perspective. I see where you're going with it, because when you have someone as quick as Fox, someone who can pull up, someone who can get to the basket, he really leverages these strengths that you're talking about of Wemby and make it. And the defense is just put in impossible positions. There really aren't too many rim runners who combine the level of rim pressure that Fox gets with the passing that he has, the ability to throw lobs. It's like he's not as good a lob threat as like Trae Young is, but he's way more explosive at getting to the basket. So I think I see where you're going with this, and that's gotta be kind of scary for opponents. No, I mean, they're doing all this without De'Aaron Fox, and they're just going to get better when Fox returns. Like, I don't know what the ceiling for this team is, but they've definitely fast forwarded the timeline, right? Like, this is a legitimate contender right now.
Yes, you are picking up what I'm putting down for sure. And that's really where I'm going with it. I think De'Aaron Fox speed and quickness, his burst, his explosiveness puts you in this impossible position where you can't play drop and you can't switch because you can't put your small guard on Wembanyama. You literally have no good options. I think you and I are both on the same page. These Spurs are contenders. As long as Wembanyama is healthy, they're contenders. He's just that good. I think he's already at the point where you put him on any team and they become at least some level of contender. And these Spurs are good enough that they are there. The difficulty would be for them, in my opinion, with true 5-out teams, teams that actually have 5 shooters on the court, because this dynamic that we just talked about where, you have Josh Hart, you can put Wemby on him and then you can let him roam on the weak side and just contest and deter every shot that they could possibly take. Effectively, you can't take any shots at the rim anymore as an offense. Now, when you have 5 shooters on the court and they end up playing like an actual Knicks team that doesn't play Josh Hart, and it's maybe someone like Deuce McBride starting, and now he's on Karl-Anthony Towns and he can't sit by the rim and protect the rim, that's where things may be a little bit more difficult, in my opinion, for the Spurs. And I'm really interested in seeing them play a team like OKC. Obviously, we know OKC is the champion and likely betting money to be the 2-time champion, but at the same time, they just have a roster that poses a lot of challenges that I don't think that we've seen from the teams that the Spurs have played so far. Like, they've played Dallas. It's a ridiculously bad matchup for the Mavericks who play 2 centers and basically at no point in time ever play 5 shooters on the court at once. They played Brooklyn, who puts up a lot of threes, but they're hilariously bad at shooting them. They shot 50 threes, and I think they made like none of them somehow. And we saw them against the Raptors. The Raptors had some success with playing Murray, Boyles, and Mamu at the same time, and that saw some success from a 5-out look. So I think that is going to be a challenge, in my opinion, and I think it does sort of work against some of the gravity idea that you're describing, because now it's like Wembanyama has to go out to those shooters and is not able to sit at the rim and protect it, if you get what I'm saying.
I do get what you're saying. And this, to me, I'm gonna speak your language here a little bit, Akshay. This, to me, highlights what a beautiful chess match the NBA has become. Because you know what you just described? You know what that all of a sudden, to me, makes an enormous offseason acquisition? Luke Kornet. Because let's say you're right. Let's say a team goes 5-out against the Spurs and they give the Spurs a little bit of trouble. and the Spurs can't match it. The Spurs, as we talked about to open the show, maybe they don't have the shooting to match it. Maybe they can't say, okay, we have this alien at center, but we still don't have the requisite shooting to match these fast 5-out lineups. What do? We're just going to scrap it. We're just going to go in a totally different direction and just nuke the offensive glass. And we are going to go double big. We're going to go with Kornet. We're going to slide Wemby to power forward. And all of a sudden, what team, they're going with a totally different approach here. They're going big. What team that can go 5-out to the degree that you're giving a Victor Wembanyama lineup difficulty can turn around and then match a supersized Spurs lineup? That's what the Spurs can turn around to do and do to you. And that's what Wembanyama's versatility does for your team. You can just say, oh, we might be overmatched here. You know what? We're just going to do something totally different now. And now you have a new problem if you're the opponent.
I love that. That's such a great point, and it makes me like so excited. Obviously, I'm getting ahead of myself, but it really makes me excited for a Spurs Thunder matchup, because the Thunder, I think, are probably the only team that could deal with being undersized and still having 5-out and still be able to score enough and defend enough to come out ahead in that situation. But it'll be really interesting to see.